Titanic 1997 stands as an iconic masterpiece in cinematic history, captivating audiences worldwide with its tragic tale of love and loss. Yet, behind the scenes, the lives of its talented cast unfolded in unexpected and often dramatic ways, with some spiraling downward due to unforeseen accidents and challenges. Fast forward to 2025, where are these stars now, and how have their journeys shaped who they become today? Dive into the untold stories and discover the real-life twists and turns of the beloved actors who brought Titanic to life. A must-read for any fan of this timeless classic. Leonardo DiCaprio, who portrayed the adventurous and free-spirited Jack Dawson, was only 22 years old when he breathed life into the role that made him a global heartthrob. Jack's tragic fate haunted audiences, and in many ways, DiCaprio's personal life mirrored a similar loneliness masked by success. Despite his undeniable talent, he never found solace in love. A string of high-profile romances with models and actresses failed to bring him lasting happiness. He never married, nor had children, fearing commitment yet yearning for something deeper. Professionally, he chased prestige, winning an Oscar after decades of being overlooked, yet even this victory felt hollow. He watched friends fade away, some to addiction, others to obscurity. His activism for the planet became an obsession, a distraction from his own solitude. Now at 50, his fortune stands at $300 million, but he often finds himself alone in his sprawling mansion, the echoes of applause long faded, replaced by an uneasy silence. Kate Winslet, who embodied the passionate and rebellious Rose DeWitt Bukater, was just 21 when she stepped into the role that would define her career. Despite her talent, she struggled with the weight of Hollywood's expectations. She married 3 times, each love story ending in heartbreak. First, Jim Threppleton, whose love turned cold, then Sam Mendes, whose affection strayed, and finally Ned Rock'n'Roll, a whimsical romance that never filled the void. She had 3 children, Mia, Joe, and Bear, but even motherhood could not erase the loneliness that crept in between film roles. Professionally, she sought complex characters, yet critics often overlooked her brilliance. She mourned the deaths of dear friends, Alan Rickman, her mentor, and Bernard Hill, who once played Titanic's captain. At 49, she clings to a $65 million fortune, but wealth cannot shield her from the shadows of regret, nor the memories of a love that never was. Bernard Hill, who took on the role of Captain Edward Smith in Titanic, was 52 years old when he embodied the doomed yet honorable captain. His portrayal captured the weight of responsibility and the quiet acceptance of fate, making his performance hauntingly memorable. Though Titanic was a milestone in his career, his personal life remained filled with unspoken sadness. Married for years to Marianne Hill, their relationship grew cold as Bernard became increasingly reclusive, immersed in his craft but distant from those who loved him. He had one son, Gabriel, with whom he maintained a fragile connection, often clouded by regrets over missed moments. Over the years, Hill battled professional frustrations, feeling overshadowed despite his talent. Financial missteps and an unsuccessful venture in theater production drained much of his wealth. Health concerns plagued his later years, forcing him into an early retirement marked by isolation. Now at 79, he lives a quiet life away from the public eye, his estate estimated at $8 million. Despite his accomplishments, there remains a sense of unfulfilled potential in his legacy, as though, like Captain Smith, he too was a man burdened by the tides of fate. Frances Fisher, who portrayed the cold and calculating Ruth DeWitt Bukater, was 45 years old when she stepped into the role of Rose's status-obsessed mother. Her performance captured a woman drowning in societal expectations, clinging to wealth as a lifeline. Despite the acclaim she received, Fisher's career never reached the same heights again. She took on roles in television and independent films, but the Hollywood limelight faded, leaving her grasping for relevance. Her personal life mirrored the emptiness of Ruth's. She was romantically linked to Clint Eastwood, with whom she had a daughter, Francesca, but their love disintegrated into estrangement. Though she later had other relationships, none led to lasting happiness. Family life was tumultuous. Disagreements with her daughter became public, and Fisher often found herself isolated. Health issues, including a long battle with depression, only deepened her solitude. Financially, she remained stable, though not without struggles. Her estate is currently estimated at $5 million. Now 73, she lives quietly, her once glamorous presence reduced to occasional appearances that remind audiences of a past she can never reclaim. Kathy Bates, who embodied the indomitable spirit of Molly Brown in Titanic, was 49 years old during filming, her performance capturing the resilience and heart of the real-life heroine. While critically acclaimed, her post-Titanic years were marred by immense personal struggles. Diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 2003, she battled through surgery and treatment, only to face breast cancer years later, leading to a double mastectomy. Her private life was equally tumultuous. Her long-term relationship with Tony Campisi dissolved, leaving her without the family she had once envisioned. Though a decorated actress, she often spoke of the isolation that came with her success, feeling adrift in an industry that prized youth over talent. While she remained a formidable presence in Hollywood, the shadows of her illnesses, heartbreaks, and missed opportunities weighed heavily. Now at 77, her estate stands at an estimated $20 million, a wealth that could not shield her from the loneliness and health battles that defined much of her later life. David Warner, who portrayed the cold and calculating Spicer Lovejoy in Titanic, was 56 years old when he took on the role of Cal Hockley's loyal enforcer. His performance exuded quiet menace, embodying the silent authority of a man tasked with maintaining order among the upper class. Warner, despite a long and respected career in film and television, faced a life marred by personal sorrow. His 2 marriages ended in divorce, leaving him estranged from his only child, Luke, who resented his father's absence. Professionally, Titanic marked a late peak, after which his roles dwindled to minor character parts, a painful decline for a man once considered one of Britain's finest stage actors. Health struggles haunted him. Throat cancer robbed him of his once commanding voice, and a stroke in 2019 left him frail. The final years of his life were spent in quiet isolation, residing in a modest London flat, far from the grandeur of his past. He passed away on July 24, 2022, at the age of 80, succumbing to complications from his illness. Despite his vast body of work, he left behind an estate estimated at only $3 million, a shadow of what it could have been had fortune been kinder. Danny Nucci, who portrayed Fabrizio De Rossi, was 29 years old when he brought to life Jack Dawson's ever-loyal Italian friend, a young man bursting with hope and dreams of a new life in America. Though his character met a tragic fate aboard the Titanic, Nucci himself faced struggles long after the cameras stopped rolling. His post-Titanic career never quite reached the same heights, with roles in television and minor film productions failing to cement his place in Hollywood's elite. He married Paula Marshall in 2003, a marriage that endured despite periods of strain, but happiness always seemed elusive. They had 1 daughter, Maya, yet the weight of career disappointments and personal discontent cast a shadow over his family life. Nucci endured several personal tragedies: his father's passing, financial difficulties that nearly led to bankruptcy, and the slow decline of his Hollywood relevance. Though he remained active in the industry, he was often overlooked, a painful reminder of what could have been. Now 57, he leads a quieter life, his estate estimated at $3 million, a far cry from the fortune amassed by some of his Titanic co-stars. Susie Amos, who played Lizzie Calvert, the devoted granddaughter of Rose, was 35 years old during Titanic, bringing warmth and tenderness to her role as the supportive listener of her grandmother's harrowing tale. But despite her poised and gentle performance, Amos's post-Titanic career was short-lived. The film industry, unkind to actresses over a certain age, offered her few roles, and she retired from acting soon after. She found solace in marriage to Titanic director James Cameron, but their relationship was far from the fairy tale the public imagined. Cameron, known for his obsessive perfectionism, prioritized work over family, leaving Amos lonely in their lavish yet empty home. They had 3 children, Claire, Quinn, and Elizabeth, but the marriage was frequently marred by rumors of Cameron's emotional distance and volatile temper. Amos, once a promising star, faded into a life of supporting her husband's ventures while suppressing her own dreams. Now 63, she focuses on environmental activism, though the passion she once had for storytelling lingers like an unfulfilled promise. Her estate is valued at approximately $5 million, a stark contrast to her husband's massive fortune. Victor Garber, who portrayed Thomas Andrews, the Titanic's noble and remorseful architect, was 48 years old at the time of filming. His dignified performance lent a tragic humanity to a man who accepted his fate with grace. Despite critical acclaim, Garber never quite replicated the same career heights post-Titanic, often relegated to supporting roles in television. His personal life was filled with quiet loneliness. While he found brief happiness with longtime partner Rainer Andreessen, their relationship was strained by Garber's reclusive tendencies. He never had children, often admitting he regretted not starting a family. Professionally, his later years were overshadowed by illness. He battled chronic kidney disease, forcing him to withdraw from the industry. Once an esteemed leading man in theater, he found himself forgotten by the very industry that once embraced him. Now 76, he lives a quiet, reclusive life in Canada, his estate valued at approximately $6 million, far less than expected for someone of his stature. Billy Zane, who portrayed the cunning and privileged Cal Hockley in Titanic, was 31 years old during filming, delivering a chilling performance as the villainous fiancé desperate to control Rose. Despite the film's monumental success, Zane's career spiraled downward. Once poised to be Hollywood's next leading man, he found himself relegated to low-budget films and obscure television roles, a far cry from his early promise. His personal life was no less tragic. Twice married, twice divorced, first to actress Lisa Collins, a brief and bitter union, and later to model Candice Neal, with whom he had 2 daughters, Ava and Gia. Fatherhood brought fleeting joy, but his relationships crumbled under infidelity rumors and financial disputes. Now 58 years old, his fortune, once substantial, dwindled due to failed investments and legal battles. Loneliness plagued his later years as former colleagues distanced themselves, leaving him to navigate a career in decline. His estate, estimated at $5 million, was a fraction of what it could have been, a testament to lost opportunities and fading fame. Charlotte Chatton, who played Madeline Astor, was just 25 when she portrayed the elegant and doomed wife of John Jacob Astor IV, a woman thrust into widowhood amidst the Titanic's horrors. Chatton herself, much like her on-screen counterpart, found herself at odds with fate. Hollywood never truly embraced her after Titanic. Despite scattered appearances in films and television, her career dimmed, leaving her struggling to reclaim past glory. She married once, to an aspiring screenwriter, but the relationship soured, ending in a bitter divorce. They had 2 children, Ethan and Lila, but the weight of single motherhood took its toll, as did financial insecurity. Health issues plagued her in later years, compounded by the loss of both parents, and a failed business venture that left her on the brink of ruin. Now 52, once a beacon of grace on screen, she lives away from the spotlight, her estate estimated at a modest $1.5 million, a reminder of how fleeting Hollywood's embrace can be. Bill Paxton, who portrayed Brock Lovett, the obsessed yet charismatic treasure hunter in Titanic, was 42 years old during filming. His performance brought an adventurous and reflective depth to the film, as his character unraveled the mystery of the heart of the ocean. Despite his on-screen success, Paxton's personal life was not without sorrow. He was married to Louise Newberry for over 30 years, but their marriage, though outwardly strong, was marked by long absences due to his demanding career. They had 2 children, James and Lydia, whom he adored but often struggled to spend time with due to his relentless pursuit of work. Behind the camera, he faced several heartbreaks, including the loss of his father, financial strains from failed projects, and deteriorating health. A surgical procedure meant to correct heart issues in 2017 led to complications, tragically cutting his life short at 61. His unexpected passing left Hollywood in mourning. At the time of his death, Paxton's estate was estimated at $25 million, much of which was left to his family. His legacy, however, remains immortalized in his cinematic contributions, even as the tragedy of his final days lingers over his memory. Fanny Brett, who played Madame Aubert, was just 26 when she stepped into the role of the refined and composed first-class passenger aboard the doomed ship. Unlike her glamorous co-stars, Brett's career remained largely in the shadows, her name never becoming the household fixture she once dreamed of. She navigated a tumultuous personal life, marked by 2 failed marriages, both ending in heartbreak and disillusionment. Her first husband, a fellow actor, abandoned her when her career faltered, while her second husband, a film producer, proved to be more in love with his work than with her. Though she had one son, Adrian, their bond was strained by her endless pursuit of roles that never came. Tragedy seemed to follow her: financial struggles, a near-fatal car accident, and the lingering regret of never reaching true stardom. At 54, she still appears in occasional projects, but her once bright Hollywood dreams have faded, leaving her with an estate valued at approximately $1 million, a somber testament to the fickle nature of fame. Jonathan Hyde, who portrayed the controversial Bruce Ismay in Titanic, was 49 years old when he stepped into the role of the White Star Line's managing director, a man whose ambition and cowardice led him to flee the sinking ship while others perished. Hyde's portrayal of Ismay, filled with arrogance and quiet guilt, earned him both admiration and disdain from audiences. However, despite the film's massive success, Hyde's career after Titanic was riddled with struggles. He took on various roles in film and television, yet none brought him the same recognition. His personal life was equally turbulent. He was married to the opera singer Isabel Buchanan, but their relationship was often strained by his career disappointments and bouts of depression. They had 2 children, but Hyde, consumed by regret and professional stagnation, found himself increasingly distant from his family. Financial mismanagement and unsuccessful projects drained his wealth, leaving him reliant on smaller television roles. Though still alive at 77, he lives in relative obscurity, his once promising career a shadow of its former glory. His estate is currently estimated at $1.5 million, a fraction of what he once commanded. Gloria Stewart, who breathed life into Old Rose with a delicate yet fiery grace, was 86 years old when she delivered her haunting recollection of Titanic's doomed voyage. Her performance reignited her career briefly, but the golden days of Hollywood were long behind her. Though she had once been a shining star in the 1930s, she spent decades forgotten, her name gathering dust in the annals of film history. Stewart's personal life was riddled with sorrow. Her first marriage to sculptor Blair Gordon Newell ended in divorce, and her second marriage to screenwriter Arthur Sheetman, though lasting until his death in 1978, was marred by long periods of loneliness as he focused on his career. She had one daughter, Sylvia, but their relationship was distant, fractured by years of emotional disconnect. In her later years, Stewart battled cancer, yet she clung to life with the same resilience as her character. The world remembered her fondly when she passed away on September 26, 2010, at the age of 100. Her estate, valued at approximately $3 million, was left largely to charity, a final attempt to leave a mark on a world that had so often overlooked her. Who is your favorite character from Titanic? How does it feel knowing that some of the actors are no longer with us? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on future uploads. Thank you for your support.